Welcome to ClickBank's training on how to be successful as a ClickBank affiliate. Now, one thing to note before we get started is that there are a lot of different ways to be an affiliate online and to make money as an affiliate. But what we're going to teach you in this series is what we believe to be the most reliable and sustainable way to build a long-term affiliate business. This isn't a way to get rich quick or start making money from the first second that you're online, but it's going to be a great way to slowly and surely build up your business and ensure that it continues for a long time. There are going to be 4 steps to this process, and in this video we're going to be talking about the first step and what is probably the most important step in determining whether you're going to be successful or not, and that's choosing your niche. So the most important thing to know about choosing your niche is that you should spend a lot of time and research on this stage. A lot of people want to get started right away. They're really excited and want to jump right in, so they don't spend much time on this step. They just pick a product and immediately start promoting it without thinking about the sustainability of it or whether it's an area they really want to be in. So when you're thinking about this and starting to do your research, there are 3 big questions that you want to ask yourself and put a lot of time and effort into thinking about these. The first question is, what are you interested in? If you're not interested in a subject, you're not going to be able to stick with it. So you really want to put a lot of thought into this before you get started and explore the possibilities of what's out there. The second is, do people spend money in this niche? And we'll talk about how to identify whether people are spending money there in just a minute. And then finally, are there products to promote? You can't very well be a successful affiliate if there are no products for you to actually promote as one. And we'll talk about how to find products and see whether that's possible in this niche. So when you're thinking about what you're interested in and what you might want to promote as an affiliate and build your affiliate business around, there are a ton of different topics that you could go with. But these are kind of 4 big categories that you could start to think about and explore to find the perfect niche for you. So one of them would be hobbies, so that would be something like fishing, gardening, chess. Another one would be passions, which isn't necessarily that different from hobbies, except that people tend to get way more excited and sort of turn it into a lifestyle or spend a lot of time and effort in this area. So it might be something like fitness or a particular cause, maybe education, like educating their child or something like that, or studying how education works and what the best ways for educating kids are. The next one, and this is a huge area, and there are a lot of products out there in this area, is problems. What problems would you like to solve either for yourself or to help people solve in their lives? So these might be things like obesity or depression or making repairs to your home. Those are all topics where there's a lot of sort of pain and urgency in getting these issues solved. And so people are going to be doing research and be willing to spend money on those areas to get them taken care of. So that can be a really profitable opportunity for you as an affiliate if you can help them solve those problems. And then finally, trends. And it's possible that these may not be as good for building a long-term business on, but they can still be a really good opportunity, and you could potentially tie them into a broader niche that you could create content around but still take advantage of these trends. So these might be something like healthy living, which that's not a short-term trend. That's something that the world is moving in that direction and people want to live healthier. So there's a lot of opportunity and a lot of different topics you could talk about. Something like organic eating, talking about how to grow organic foods or how to feed your family organic foods so that they can be healthier. And finally, homeschooling is a very hot topic and something that is starting to get really popular right now. So think about in your life and in your areas of expertise, which of these kind of categories you might be interested in, and then what topics within them could potentially be good for exploring as a niche. The keys here is that whatever you pick, you want to make sure that you're going to stick with it. You need to create content. You need to be involved in the community. Be out there participating and interacting with other people in the niche. You cannot be completely passive and just put up a little bit of content and never touch it again and hope to really be successful as an affiliate. You need to think about this like a long-term business, something that you're going to invest time and potentially money into, almost definitely investing money into it. So think about something that is really going to keep your interest and that you're going to keep wanting to work on beyond the first month, beyond 6 months, potentially beyond a year. Your goal here is to become an authority in the niche. And we'll talk about that later in later videos. But just think about that you're going to want to be the authority or one of the top authorities. So don't pick something that you're only mildly interested in or that you're not at all interested in and are just going for what you think would be the money-making opportunity there. So then the second question is, do people spend money in this niche? People spend money in all kinds of different niches, so the answer is usually going to be yes. There are a few really weird niches that you may not be able to monetize at all, or that people are just going to be looking for information. Like if you're a collector of quotes or something like that, there's probably not really money to be made there, at least as an affiliate. So what you want to look for to see if there is money to be made in the niche are things like advertisers. So it might be billboard advertisers or magazine or newspaper advertisers. The bottom example there you see is Google AdWords advertisers. So if you can see that people are willing to spend money advertising in this niche, then there's almost certainly money to be made in it. Next up is magazines. You want to know that there are magazines on this topic as much as possible, because that shows that there's a big interested audience. Typically magazines have advertisers within them, and that's a great sign that there's money to be made in that niche. So looking for magazines, and especially if there are multiple magazines in a niche, that's a great sign. Books. So you can look on Amazon and see, are there best-selling books on a particular topic. So we've got organic cooking and homeschooling, which were two of our trend items earlier. If there are multiple books on a topic and they seem to be actually making sales, that's a great sign that there's opportunity in that niche. And finally, associations and groups. So these are typically organizations where people are paying money to be a member. They may be hosting live events. So there's money that's involved in that kind of association or group. So these are a pretty wide range of examples here. There's community gardening, pet obesity prevention, which I really like. That one was funny when I found it, but obviously that's something that people care about and are willing to spend money in. And then finally, Toastmasters International is a big public speaking association, so that's a great one to give an example of public speaking and helping people with their public speaking. There's a lot of opportunity in that niche. Then finally, you need to explore and decide, are there products that you can promote as an affiliate in this space? So on the left we have some examples of information products. How to roast a whole pig like a top chef, sing like a pro, make money selling t-shirts. Those are just a few examples of information products. Over on the right, we've got more physical products. So those would be through networks outside of ClickBank. But you're going to be able to build the most profitable affiliate business possible if you can do a mix of information products and physical products. If you're going to be missing an opportunity if you're only selling people products on how to do stuff or how to solve a problem, but you don't have any opportunity for them to buy physical products that might support that. So some examples would be things like knitting supplies or gardening materials. You can see with the golf swing DVD videos, those are sort of a mix. That's both an information product and a physical product. So that can be great, for people who want something tangible that they can get in the mail and, watch on their TV rather than trying to watch videos on their computer. Ideally, when you're looking at a niche, you will have both information products and physical products. It's not always the case, and there are some niches where you're only going to be able to sell information, or you might only be able to promote physical stuff. But if you can find one that's right in the middle and has both possibilities, that's going to be ideal. So this is one of the big secrets to success when you're identifying your niche, is that you want to niche down. And what I mean by that is that a lot of people try to go too broad when they're starting out, when they're thinking about those things that they might be interested in or that they might be able to help people with. They think about something really general, and it ends up being too competitive. There's no way for them to gain an audience or get recognized as a top authority in that space. So here's an example. A lot of people are interested in health and fitness, and there's a lot of money to be made and a lot of opportunity in the health and fitness space. However, if you go into it as an affiliate and you think you're going to become the authority on general health and fitness, you're going to be competing with huge businesses and huge celebrities that have a lot of money and a lot of prestige in that space. So you might be competing with Dr. Oz or a famous personal trainer or Weight Watchers or somebody like that. And you're never going to be able to compete with those guys. You'll never be able to rank in the search engines against really general terms like dieting or weight loss or something like that. So you need to go deeper. And if you can go ideally 2 levels deeper, which I'll kind of explain what that means, and you can see in the example on here, but I'll talk through it. That's going to be where you can become a top 5 authority in that space, build a sizable audience, get people listening to you, trusting you, and buying from you. So with the health and fitness example, if you went one step deeper, you might think about something like dieting rather than fitness in terms of running or in terms of bodybuilding or something like that. Those would be other niches within health and fitness. But dieting is still just way too competitive. There are a lot of big diet companies out there and a lot of big diet celebrities, and it's going to be almost impossible for you to really compete with them if you're not spending a lot of money. So you could take that one step deeper and think about, who could I target for dieting products? Who could I really talk to and identify with and become that audience's go-to person? So you could end up with a sub-niche of weight loss for busy moms. There are still a ton of busy moms out there that are going to be interested in how to lose weight on a limited budget or limited amount of time, and you can become the expert for them. You can speak to their needs, you can show that you can really identify with them and that they can trust what you have to say. So that's going to be where the real opportunity is. You want to make sure that you still have a large enough market to work with, but typically if you go a couple levels deep like that, there's still going to be plenty of people that you could identify with, and that there would be plenty of money to be made in that space. So let's look at a couple more examples. One would be cooking. It's a huge market. It's something a lot of people are interested in, but it's insanely competitive. You're going to be competing with Betty Crocker or with the Food Network or people like that have a lot of money to spend on advertising and branding. So you could go one step deeper and specialize in baking, and that's great, but you're probably still going to be having a hard time really getting noticed with all of the other baking resources that are out there. So you go one step deeper, you kind of tap into a specific problem and a specific trend, and then you end up with gluten-free baking. It's going to be so much easier to become the authority on gluten-free baking than it would be on general cooking or general baking. And it's going to be a really motivated audience. They're going to need specific products. They're going to need specific recommendations about what to do. So if you can fill that need, then that's going to be a great opportunity. The final one would be something like sports. If you try to compete, as a general sports website, you're going to be going head-to-head with ESPN or CBS Sports or whoever it might be, and it's going to be just impossible to build a brand as a big sports network. So you could specifically take it down and go with basketball, which is a good topic, but there's still going to be a lot of basketball-oriented websites out there where it's going to be hard to get noticed above all the noise. So you could take it a further sub-niche down and specialize in high school basketball. There are still tons of people that are interested in high school basketball or high school football or whatever it might be, and you can become the real authority there. And then the opportunity there would be, as an affiliate, to promote things like high school coaching programs. So, products that teach high school coaches a series of training exercises or a series of plays that they can run. Or you could promote products that are like fitness and training products for high school athletes. How to jump higher, how to run faster, how to work on their dribbling or their passing. So there are going to be a lot of opportunities there still, even though you've gone a couple niches deep. So I hope that gives you an idea of what I mean by going 2 steps deep on niches. But really, that's where the sweet spot is and the opportunity is, rather than going too broad and just finding that you can't ever break into that space. So that's it for this video. Next up, we're going to talk about step 2, which is building your platform. So I'll see you there.